Oh. Narayana. Hari Om and greetings from Niagara Falls. All that we do consciously, watching TV, talking to people, thinking about a regret, an anxiety, this leaves an impression, makes an impact on the subconscious part of our personality. The more I think of regrets, the more I think of regrets, correct? The more anxious I am, the more anxious I am. And the subconscious part of our personality creates an impact or an impression on the unconscious part of our personality, which we refer to as vasanas, as our blueprint. Someone who's generally anxious, this becomes part of the fabric of their being. Even with full therapy, sometimes they're unable to shake that anxiety. Our scriptures teach us to be careful. Careful of every action, careful of every word, careful of every thought, because it's creating who we are. And who we are naturally then facilitates any sukha or dukkha in our lives. If we're happy, if we're sad. Being careful probably wouldn't be one of the qualities on our resumes, correct? If someone asked us, are you a careful person? We may say yes, but generally we're careless. We don't pay attention when we drive. We're unaware of the words we're using and the impact it's creating on people's feelings. Accepting that we are careless, what we are doing is we are trying to fill our thoughts, we're trying to fill our words, we're trying to fill our actions with Bhagavan. Through Srimad Bhagavatam, we're not thinking about our own thoughts, we're thinking about Bhagavan's thoughts. We're thinking about Bhagavan's words, we're thinking about Bhagavan's actions. When I'm so full of Bhagavan, then me being careless is still me being careful. And that will become the fabric of who I am. Srimad Bhagavatam, our course, is a most comprehensive strategy, lifestyle on living in a divine way. Reviewing what we studied last week, Bhagavan Brahma woke up. He became conscious of himself. He didn't know what to do. And the beauty of what happened is Bhagavan Brahma was not overwhelmed. He didn't panic. He practiced quietude and he heard the word tapa, tapa. And he engaged in contemplation on who he is, not in a relative way, that he has 4 faces, that he has a long beard, but why is he who he is? And in that, Bhagavan Narayana manifests to him and shares with him that You are my manager. I will create the raw materials and you facilitate further creation. And Bhagavan Brahma is thinking, where did these words tapa come from? These words came as Bhagavan Narayana's kripa. It was Bhagavan Narayana who created this audio, tapa, tapa. And if you think about this carefully, Bhagavan Narayana gave Bhagavan Brahma not only creation, as in who he is, but what he's supposed to do too. And if we can relate to that, all that we're doing in our lives is being guided by the hand of God. When we attend satsang, when we don't attend satsang, when we pursue relationships, when we don't pursue relationships. And there's so much relief and freedom in that understanding that all that happens is being guided by Bhagavan Narayana's kripa. What is there to worry about then? What is there to be afraid of? Bhagavan Narayana guides Bhagavan Brahma specifically, and this is known as Chatushloki Bhagavatam. In these 4 shlokas, this is the main import. The first shloka, infinity does not change. Infinity, divinity does not change. We use the word Brahman as the trigger for this shloka. The import of shloka number 2, if, and this is a capital, italicized, bolded, exclamation mark, if infinity changes, that change is relative. Understood? Infinity does not change. Bhagavatam is complete. But here we are seeing that the weather changes, the background of where I'm speaking changes. So I'm experiencing change. What is all of this change? This is all relative. To be given relative importance only. And we describe this as Maya. Our trigger for the shloka is Maya. The third shloka, if, again, italicized, capitalized, exclamation mark, if this is all relative, then all that I'm experiencing is an appearance. Is an appearance. An appearance means there's lots of forms and lots of names, but this is an appearance. I gave the example of the Lego tower. A form and a name, that's still Lego. An appearance. Dreams appear to us, movies appear to us, holograms appear to us, illusions appear to us. This is all an appearance. And our trigger for this shloka was Jagat. Creation. Srishti. I think I used the word Srishti. Okay? Brahman, Maya. We'll go with Jagat. Okay? It's a word that we know more than Srishti, but both are fine. Then the 4th shloka. Brahman is the source. It's as if Brahman became Maya. It's as if Maya became Jagat. And here I'm living in the Jagat. I feel I'm the Jagat. What do I do to go back to Brahman? How do I go through Maya to Brahman? In the 4th shloka, if this is all an appearance, filter what is not changing and what is changing. Filter what is anvaya, that which is present, that which is vyatireka, that which is not present. Filter means use your discrimination. Engage in vichara. The trigger word here is sadhana. Sadhana allows me to go through Maya to the source that is Brahman, and I come to live, infinity does not change. What lovely teachings from Srimad Bhagavatam. Now we continue. This was chapter 9. We'll now shift to chapter 10, which is the last chapter of this. If this is a chapter, what would a skanda be called in English? Section? So this is the last chapter of this section. We're in the second skanda, 10th chapter. We're going to read lines 1 and 2. And in my carelessness, I forgot to chant our shlokas. Today I'm sharing our first Bhagavatam class from our new home. So I was moving things around and trying to create the right light and so on. And it shows my carelessness that I was more concerned with the context than content, for which I apologize. Let us chant our prayers, our shlokas. Satchidananda Rupaya Vishwotpatyadi Hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha. Bhagavan has forgiven me. Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditarataschaarteshvabhignaswarat Tene brahmahridaya adikavaye muhyanti yatsurayaha Tejo varimridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrsha Dhamna svena sada nirastakuhakam satyam param dhimahi Dharma projita ketavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam Vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayon mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Va Parerishvaraha Sadyo Hridya Varudyate Tratkriti Vishushrushubhistatchanat. Now, our next shloka, again, we're in the 10th adhyaya. I'm going to read the first shloka and half of the second. Atra sargo visargascha stanam pushanam utayaha manvantare shanukatha nirodho muktirashayaha dashamasya vishuddhyartam navanam iha lakshanam. Bhagavan Brahma teaches Rishi Narada what are the 10 facets, what are the 10 parts of a Mahapurana. Bhagavan Brahma teaches Rishi Narada Srimad Bhagavatam, and he's helping him with a framework, what to expect in Srimad Bhagavatam. Please do your best to remember this, to write this. It takes studying Bhagavatam many times to internalize all of this. I've shared with you that I've studied this many times, and it becomes clearer and clearer every time. And the more you write, the more real this becomes. I go back to my notes from November of 2005, which was the first time that I experienced a Bhagavat Saptaha. And since then, I continue to take notes. In my notes, there's less questions. There's more clarity. So you should observe that in yourself also to bring out that confidence as a seeker. The first part of Bhagavatam is known as Sarga. Okay, this shloka that we just read defines all 10 parts. So the first part is known as Sarga. Sarga is where the elements are created. Sarga is where the body, mind, and intellect are created. Sarga is the raw materials that Bhagavan Vishnu creates. Now this first part begins for us in Skanda 3. When we begin Skanda 3 next week, we'll start with Sarga. So how is it that part 1 starts in Skanda 3? Because we've already understood what the first and second Skanda focus on. What does the first Skanda focus on? Adhikari. Correct? And the second Skanda focuses on sadhana. What is the sadhana that an adhikari should go through? The next 10 parts. In the first part of Bhagavatam, a popular or well-known avatara that we will study is Varaha, just for your reference. Okay, the second part is known as Visarga, V-I Sarga, Vishesha Saga, which means a special creation. This is where Bhagavan Brahma begins. Bhagavan Vishnu is the original creator. He's the CEO. Bhagavan Brahma is the manifested creator. He's the manager. He takes that raw material and adds more details. How this relates to us, if we humans are created in the first part, what humans create is shared in the Visarga part. All that is human made is shared in the Visarga part. And an avatara that we will come across, or a narration, is about Dhruva. That's a popular narration in the second part of Bhagavatam, which is in the fourth skanda. The third part is known as Sthana. Sthana means to be established. Where is creation and special creation housed? Where is it grounded? This is highlighted in Sthana. How this relates to us. In the first part, the BMI is created. In the second part, what the BMI creates, a home, a car, a business. In the third part, for us, it is governance. Now that we've created, how is this governed? So this is brought together in Sthana, and a famous narration here is about Raja Bharata. So we will study about Raja Bharata. The fourth part is known as Poshana. Poshana means to encourage, to energize. Do you remember what other word is like Poshana from magical mantras? Savitur, the one who encourages, the one who energizes. Poshana is like Pushan, one of the names for the sun. How growth takes place. Now that one is housed, one is established, how do you grow from there? In the case of us, it would be like giving birth to a child. You provide a home for a child, but now you have to raise the child, right? And a narration in Poshana is about Ajamila. This is a lovely portion of Bhagavatam where people who we feel don't deserve Bhagavan's help are helped. And why this is so lovely, often we feel we don't deserve satsang, we don't deserve the Guru Shishya Parampara. But God is gracious. You're right, we don't deserve this. But the fact we're experiencing it shows the graciousness of our original parent. Again, when we know that, we should just smile more, knowing that we're receiving these blessings. The fifth part of Bhagavatam, and I'm sorry, I'm saying Bhagavatam, and I'll give you a detail about this as soon as I'm finishing the fifth part, is known as Uti. Uti. I think this is a hill station in India, correct? Uti. So Uti means to weave, to put together. This is a complex skanda. For us, it is the history of our vasanas, the expression of our blueprint. And a narration in the fifth part will be about Prahlad. Prahlada will be brought out. Okay, so now I come to my point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 parts I shared with you. These are the basic thoughts, these are the basic facets of a Purana. How many Puranas are there? 18. But for a Mahapurana, there's 5 more parts. That's why I wanted to highlight that these 5 are 1, and now we add 5 more, which is unique to Bhagavatam. Unique to Bhagavatam. The sixth part is known as Manvantara. Manvantara is a period of a Manu. A Manu you should not interpret as a man. Manu is a guide, a leader. So there's lots of narrations of people that for us would be role models, that we should follow dharma like this. It is in this skanda that the Vishesha Saga Manthana takes place. The churning of the Milky Ocean is in this skanda. So lots to think about in this skanda. The 7th is known as Ishanukata. Ishanukata. Isha Anu Kata. Kata means narrations. Anukata means special narrations. Tell us in detail of Isha, of God. In this, we have lots and lots of avatars that we know well, specifically Bhagavan Rama. Bhagavan Rama is highlighted. Examples are given to us about how, despite conflicting dharma, how to navigate this. The 8th is known as Nirodha, the 8th part of a Mahapurana is Nirodha, which means dissolution. I didn't say disillusion, I said disillusion. Tell me the 2nd sutra of Rishi Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Nirodha means to transcend. Rishi Patanjali says, yoga is transcending the thoughts of the mind. That is what is the focus of the 8th part of Bhagavatam, of a Mahapurana. For us, it's pressing refresh. Pressing refresh. After I complete this class every Sunday morning, at 12 p.m., I like to have half an hour by myself. At Chinmaya, people go downstairs and they prepare lunch and they eat. And I like to just linger around the ashram by myself for 2 reasons. Number 1, it's a refresh for me because from 4 a.m. to 12 p.m., I'm only thinking about Bhagavatam. And it's demanding, so that refresh, that time by myself is just to give some respite, to slow down the thought process, and to internalize all that's happening. And if you feel this hour is intense, you should take some time as soon as the class is over for the same. It's like going to sleep after you worked hard or there's too much on your mind. Nirodha. So now if you're keeping track, if this is the 8th part of Bhagavatam, what skanda would this be highlighted in? The 10th skanda. Please remember, okay? 8th part of Bhagavatam, but the first 2 parts, Adhikari and Sadhana, is already given. These are the next parts. This is the 10th skanda, and who's the focus of the 10th? Bhagavan Krishna. That's why I read another half line for you, which said, Dashamasya Vishuddhyartam Navanam Iha Lakshanam, that the first 9 cantos of Bhagavatam are only to bring out the pure meaning of the 10th canto. The first 9 are just preparation. So we have to go through thousands of verses to be prepared for this one canto. The 9th part of a Mahapurana is known as Mukti. Mukti means freedom. The 9th and 10th parts don't have to do with creation. It's not about the macro, it's only about us. It's about the micro. So freedom is highlighted, and a popular personality in the 9th skanda will be Lord Dattatreya. We'll think about him. He's in a lot of scriptures. And the 10th part of Bhagavatam is Ashraya, which is solace, which is refuge. And here we'll come to have a dialogue with Rishi Markandeya. Rishi Markandeya. Everyone got all 10 parts of a Mahapurana? Sarga, Visarga, Sthana, Poshana, Uti, Manvantara, Ishanukata, Nirodha, Mukti, Ashraya. So now some may be thinking, this is a lot of details. Raja Parikshita asked one question. He's about to die, and he asked about the details of a Mahapurana in this context. The meaning behind all of this, there's not 10 parts to a Mahapurana. There's not 12 skandhas. All is Bhagwan. Period. All is Bhagwan. Bhagwan is Sarga. Bhagwan is Visarga. Bhagwan is the one whose narrations will be shared. Bhagwan is the Ashraya. And for all of those people who are more into jnana, what do you mean God is all of this? Fine. Change the word to Sat. Change it to existence. What do you think the raw material is in the beginning? Existence. Humans make stuff, a table, a dish. That's still existence, correct? When all of these, if this house is burned down, what will it turn into? Ash, but that's existence also. Just Bhagwan, just existence. And in a very subjective way, what is being shared in the end part of this skanda, find meaning in every part of creation. You should never feel lost or bored. That means I'm looking at the appearance instead of doing sadhana to get to existence or Brahman. Sheila's been sleeping more in the mornings. Naturally, we're about to have a baby. Any day, any hour. So I've been with Vyasa longer in the morning, and everything he comes across is meaningful. Someone had bought us an easel for our home, and he doesn't know what an easel is, so he just keeps lifting it up and down. You know, he's doing his push-ups with his easel. There's nothing that's not meaningful to him. So it's almost like we're going through an unlearning process, isn't it? A re-education to fix our education. Now this is a creation theory that's being shared from Sarga to Ashraya. All of creation is willed by the Creator. Bhagwan, God, simply willed all of this to happen. And Swami Tejamayana gives a subjective way to experience this. If you all close your eyes. Close your eyes. And now I want you to create whatever you want. Create a home, create a plane, create a field. Just create. You can gently open your eyes. This exercise should take much longer, but really, you did the sarga, you did the visarga, you dissolved everything. You're free now, correct, of that imagination. This is all Bhagwan's imagination, which means we are in Bhagavan. We'll study one final part of this skanda, and it's really technical, but I'm going to share a simple message with you. To think more about our Creator willed creation. I'm still on the 10th adhyaya. I'm now reading the 11th shloka, line 1 and 2. Tasvavatsita swasrushtasu sahasra parivartsaran tena narayano nama yadapa purushodbhavaha. So what's shared here? Bhagavan Narayana, he came out, and I'm going to read the literal meaning first and then explain more. Narayana came out of this shell, and he wanted to find rest. So he created this creative water and lied down there for thousands of years. And then later on I'll share how then he felt like sharing himself, and so creation began. Okay. When I share the literal meaning, you should just pick up main points, and then I'll elaborate on all of this. Don't feel overwhelmed by the literal meaning. That's the point of such discourses and discussions. Brahman is the infinite, which is beyond creation. Brahman, as if manifests as Ishvara. Ishvara is that which is causal. In our case, it would be like the vasanas, the causal body. Ishvara is the cause. This cause expresses more as Hiranya Garbha. The causal becomes the subtle. That's when we say golden egg or cosmic shell, the subtle aspect of the Creator, the subtle body of the Creator is this potential. The raw material is there, but the details are not. When this Hiranyagarbha becomes more detail-oriented, more manifest, the subtle becomes the gross, and we call that Virat, the Virat Purusha. In Bhagavad Gita, we get to, through our ears, see the Virat Purusha. So did you follow that expression? Who's at the beginning? Brahman. Transcendental. As if Brahman expresses as Ishvara. As if Ishvara expresses as Hiranyagarbha, the cosmic shell, the field, the potential. Then this gets expressed more as Virat, as like the gross creation we see, the gross body. Okay? So this is what's being described. This Virat Purusha, this expression of the divine, was looking for a place to sit, a place to stay, a place to rest, like us. We do the same, and he created it's known as Garbhodakam. Garbhodakam, and this is so lovely. So please do tune into what I'm sharing. Garbhodakam is known as seminal fluid. Seminal, seminal, I don't know the pronunciation of that. And we also know this as the Vishesha Saga, as a milky ocean. Yes? Garbha Udaka. Udaka means water. Garbha is not a physical place. It's not a womb. That's a literal meaning. Garbha means the potential to create, where more can happen. So he lied down, created this water and lied down for thousands of years, which is why he came to be known as Narayana. So how? That which comes from Nara is known as Nara. The one born from Vasudeva is known as Vasudeva. That which comes from Vishishta is known as Vashishta. So that which comes from Nara is known as Nara. Nara means water. And Nara Shayana, the one who lies down in water, is known as Narayana. Okay, so there's some history behind Bhagwan's name. As he's lying down, and he's not sleeping, he's in Yoga Nidra. This is where so many of these popular words have come from, this experience. He's lying down, aware of himself, and then he engages in what is known as Viryam Hiranmayam. Viryam Hiranmayam. Viryam here means that potential again. It's unfortunate we interpret this as sperm. Hiranmayam means divine. This divine potential, he takes himself and expresses in 3 ways. Here are the 3 ways. Adi Deva, Adhyatma, and finally Adhi Bhuta. Adi Deva, Adhyatma, or known as Adhi Atma, and finally Adhi Bhuta. That Adhi, you have to remember, is divine. So from him, he wills to be shared and does so in these 3 categories. Now, there's a long description of what this looks like. I'm going to give you one example, just one example. When he came out of contemplation from this potent water and manifested as these 3 categories, he felt hungry and thirsty. After you wake up, you feel hungry and thirsty too, correct? From that hunger and thirst, what manifested is the tongue. And for the tongue is water and food. And all of creation is like that. When he wanted to hear his own glories, so he wanted to hear, so what manifested? The ears. And who's the one who overlooks the ears? Space. There's a deity for that too. So all of this is shared, how everything, Bhagwan willed this, and the Adi Deva, the presiding deity, was created. The Adhyatma, the part in us, was created, and Adi Bhuta, that relationship was created. I'm going to give you one more example, okay? I'm picking. I want to go back to sound because it's so beautiful. When he desired to hear the rishis hymning about himself, he developed ears. We developed ears, right? So that's the Adhyatma. And thus developed the organ of hearing, the object of sound, and the deity Dik. So when he willed to hear, the presiding deity was created. Who's the presiding deity? Dik. The Adhyatma is the ear, my own ear. And the object of sound, that's the Adi Bhuta. So every part of creation, the deity, the manifestation in me, and the object of that manifestation in me, why I use my eyes, why I use my tongue, why I have knees, why I have muscles, all of this has been willed by the Creator, is the Creator. Okay. So this goes for a long time, and this skanda ends where Rishi Shaunaka asks Rishi Ugrashavas that you had mentioned to us in the Mahabharata portion of Bhagavatam that Vidura never stayed for the war. He went on a yatra, and during his yatra he met Maitreya. We want to know, what questions did Vidura ask Maitreya? We want to know more about their dialogue. Then we fast forward a little bit, and Rishi Ugrashava says Raja Parikshita asked the same question to Rishi Shuka. So we go from Rishi Shaunaka to Raja Parikshita to Vidura. And that's how the next canto will begin. Iti Dvitiya Skandaha Samaptaha Hari Om Tat Sat. Narayana.